Okay, so do you ever wonder if supplements is something that you should take after you've had gastric bypass surgery? And maybe you're thinking about having surgery and wondering if you should do the surgery. And can you take supplements after that? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about my experience in taking supplements after gastric bypass surgery and five reasons why I love it and why it works for me. So, if you're curious about that, stay tuned because I've got lots coming your way and I will give you some real good tips about uh, good things that you can do for yourself after having gastric bypass surgery at the end. So, stay tuned. But for those of you that have not met me before, my name is Anna Olson, and I am a gastric bypass post-op about 5 years now, over 5 years, and I have had great success by using supplements, by using all natural supplements. And of course, my phone goes off as soon as I get online. But anyway, let's continue. So let's get into it. I've got like 5 different things I wanted to talk about and why why supplements, natural supplements, are really good, have been really good for gastric bypass patients, okay, or clients. So let's talk about this. The first one is, when they prepared, if you've had surgery, you know what I'm talking about. But when I prepared for my surgery, they talked about being able to, you're going to have to take vitamins. You're going to have to take pills for the rest of your life, pills or liquid or something for the rest of your life, because you're no longer going to get those kinds of the nutrients your body needs through the food that you eat. And I would say that my body was deficient of a lot of those vitamins prior to my surgery because I wasn't absorbing anything from or not much from the foods. And it was depleted in many areas. But they didn't test. I mean, the regular doctor doesn't test you for vitamin A and vitamin B and B12 and, all those things. They don't test you. So that's not a normal test that they run unless you're deficient in some way. And then they start looking. But now that I've had surgery, that's every 6 months they check my numbers again to make sure that I have B12, which is a vitamin that helps your immune system. You're able to fight off anything that you come across. So it's kind of it's that nutritional gap that these supplements fill in for me. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about is the nutritional gap. And when you've had surgery, you don't absorb nutrients the same way that you did before. That's the other thing is natural supplements are already broken down in a way that I can absorb them with my new stomach and the way that I absorb nutrients now. So that's why, and I read this in a medical report. It said 90% of people do not get the nutrients that they need from food. And there's multiple reasons for that. We have soil depletion. We're not getting out of the foods. The foods that we eat are not getting the nutrients out of the soil that they used to, like years ago, kind of thing. So we have to try to fill in other ways, in any way that we can. And supplements is basically what I understand it, and the way that I understand it, natural supplements is a way where a scientist has put together the right ingredients to help you in a certain way. So they've done this in a lab. They've done this, and their ingredients are from areas where they've make sure that it's totally natural. Those kinds of things, and of course, your body changes over time. So what I mean by that is, as you get older, your body's needs changes. Okay, and certainly your body has changed now that you've had surgery. I mean, you know that, right? If you've had surgery, you would know that. So things change. But with the natural supplements, you can take the supplement, the body uses what it wants to use, what it needs to use, and then the rest of it just you digest through. So it's not like I want to compare it to a drug, but it's not really a drug. It's a food. I mean, if you eat too much of something, you can develop a sickness from it. And the same with a supplement. It's not something that you just take and there's no worries. Absolutely not. I still always say make sure that you go and visit your doctor. You follow the orders of your doctor. Absolutely. That is not in question here. And it is not where I'm going with this at all, because that's exactly what I do. I follow my doctor. And now I did take the only thing that I didn't do from my doctor. I mean, they gave me over the counter medications. Actually, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So let's talk about absorption of nutrients. Well, I already talked about the changes. So absorption of nutrients changes over time. As you get older, your needs are different. As you exercise, your needs are different. And of course, surgery has caused your need to be completely different than it used to be. So those are all things that changes the needs for the nutrients and how you absorb them, because it changes over as you age. And those were the three main things. Your surgery has changed that. As you age, it changes. And exercise, you might need more of one thing versus the other because you're exercising. Okay. And depending on what level of exercise you do. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I go out walking every morning, and I walk 3 miles a day, 3+ miles a day, 5 days a week. So, but I'm not talking about cardio. I'm not talking about pumping iron in the gym. I'm talking about going out for a walk. And so it all matters in depending on what you do. If you're pumping iron in the gym, then you're probably some different nutrients than I would, for example. Next, I wanted to talk about avoiding chemicals. Avoiding chemicals. That was a big one for me. So here's where I wanted to talk about over-the-counter medications or over-the-counter vitamins, not medications, but vitamins. When I had my surgery, the doctor gave me a list and said, these are the things you need to take, and this is where you can find them, and gave me a list. So I went to the local big box store, and I bought what they said I needed. Some of those over-the-counter vitamins absolutely made me sick. I couldn't take them. They made me so sick. It's like there were, maybe there's vitamin B in there. I'm going to use vitamin B as an example. This is totally, could have been vitamin C, type of thing. But there's vitamin B in that pill, but there's fillers in it too that absolutely caused me to be sick. And I just felt nauseous all the time when I was trying to take my vitamins. And for a while there, I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? Because I can't take the vitamins. I don't get it from food. And the doctor didn't give me any other options. They didn't talk about supplements. They didn't say anything about supplements. So I had to go on a search for myself and find a way to get the nutrients that I needed. Now, supplements isn't something that comes when you take a supplement, it's like instant relief or instant changes or instant number changes and all that. No, that's not how supplements work. But the reason that I really, really like supplements so well is because they're not full of chemicals. They're not full of fillers. There's no fillers in them. It's all natural supplements. And that's why it works so well. So what is natural versus and what is not? I mean, you have to figure that out for yourself. You have to do the research and ask questions. But if somebody, I mean, you have to be able to look on the bottle or container that it comes in and read it and say, okay, does this seem to be natural? Look at the ingredients. Look at the ingredients. I mean, for me, with the most of the supplements that I take today, it's a vegetable capsule that encompasses or that holds the natural product that's inside, and that's what I take. There's nothing to there's just yeah. I don't know enough about the chemicals and stuff to start picking at each one, but I just have done enough research and tried enough things. I tried them and they made me sick. Then I know that there's a filler in there that is making me sick. So I leave it and go on to something else. And I have found a line of supplements that really work well for this. And check out the link in the description of this video because that's where you're going to find the supplements that I'm talking about here, the ones that I take and that really do work for me. There's a few things that I cannot get from these supplements. I still take calcium, I take vitamin B12, and iron. Those are the three things that I still need to take. Otherwise, I get all of my numbers are good and they are tested every 6 months. They test the numbers to make sure that I'm good. So obviously, life changes can make a big difference. And when it comes to the changes that happen in your life, as you lose weight, when I first had surgery, I was not on vitamins for like the first 2 weeks. And then they wanted me to continue to exercise. And I just got weaker and weaker and weaker. And I'm like, okay, so I am too weak to go exercising. What is going on here? When is this going to go away? When am I going to feel like I have energy again? And she's like, well, you don't have any vitamins. That's why you're feeling that way. So I went out, and so it got to the point where I could now take the vitamins. And I had all the vitamins available to me, and I started taking them, but they made me feel sick. And I started getting some energy back, and I was able to go out walking and feel like I could actually walk and do the exercise that they were talking about, but it made me feel sick. So that right after surgery is really critical to follow the doctor's orders, do what you're supposed to, do what they're asking you to do. But when I got out a little further, so I didn't go into supplements. I want to be very clear here. I didn't go into supplements until about 6 months out. So I suffered through with the vitamins for about 6 months, 4.5 months or so, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing something that could cause issues with the surgery, and I wanted to heal. So those are the changes that you want to make sure that you follow your doctor's orders. But just know that there's changes that are going to be happening over time as you lose weight. And you want to pay attention to those things. And then I would also recommend, try one thing at a time. Try one thing at a time. Is there something that, for me, it was mental health. I wanted something to support my mental health. And I did not want to take a drug. Drugs were available. And I actually, no, I don't think I did take any at that time. I wasn't taking anything at that time. But I wanted to make sure that I was mentally stable for all the changes that were happening and all the times that I felt sick and couldn't and didn't feel good, didn't really feel good, after surgery. So it took a while to get to the point where I'm like, yeah, I feel good again, So you have to pay attention to those life changes. Those life changes are huge. And be sure to be good to yourself about that, okay? But trying one supplement at a time And for me, it was to take something for my mental wellness. So that's kind of how mine went through. Now, why do we take supplements? Why do we take supplements? Well, I've already talked about the nutrients and all of that, the numbers, right? But obviously, for me, I take supplements so I can prevent health issues. For example, taking something for gut health. I mean, my digestion is so much better than it used to be. It is so much better. I had one colonoscopy so far, and it came out perfect. There was no polyps, no nothing. But that's because I take gut health stuff. I move whatever it is through the body so that I don't have and I take something to heal the microbiome. I heal my gut with supplements. You don't get that from food, and you don't get that from over-the-counter medication or over-the-counter supplements or vitamins, and you don't get that from drugs. Actually, drugs can be very harming to your microbiome. At least they have been to mine, and it took me a while to get past it. Anytime I'm on an antibiotic, it takes a while for me to get back into my regular routine because antibiotics have just wreak a havoc on my gut, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I want to prevent versus treat. And I want a supplement to prevent versus taking a drug to Band-Aid. This is why I take supplements, and this is why I believe in supplements. So hopefully this has answered some questions for you that you've had about supplements after gastric bypass, and that you can maybe, try something out. Try something out. I'm not saying that the ones that I take are what you should take. I'm saying these have worked for me. And the link is in the description of this video. If it's something you want to try, hey, it's here for you. If not, it's okay also. It's okay also. But I know that I feel so much better because of my supplements that I take on a daily basis. So that those are my vitamins, my nutrients that my body needs to support and to feel and to have success with weight loss, continued weight loss, keeping it off. My mental state is so much better. My digestion is so much better. I sleep like a baby, like never before. I mean, I can't believe how much different my sleep is than it was when in my 20s and 30s. So there's just so many things that these supplements have helped. If you have any questions, make sure to put it in the comments below, and I'll connect with you and make sure we can get those questions answered. So hopefully this is helpful for you. If you have, so my question of the day today is, what are you taking what are you taking to build your nutrients or to get the nutrients you need on a daily basis? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. All right, so there you have it, another episode of Anna Olson TV. Remember to like this video and share it with anyone else that you know that this could help. And also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my weekly videos. Bye for now.